I'd first like to take a moment to thank Representative Williams for taking the time out of his day to come be with us this morning. We all look forward to hearing from you a little later in the program, Representative Williams. Before we move forward, I'd just like to take a quick second to tell you guys a little bit of something about something Representative Williams and I share. Our paths crossed about 20 years ago. We were in a program called Upward Bound. Has anyone ever heard of that program? Upward Bound. And what it does, it's a program for students who, if your parents have never gone to college and received a bachelor's degree, or if you have, if you come from a low-income family, what they do is help you move on to college if that's what you want to do. So I met Representative Williams there, and as a product of Upward Bound, he is a great leader of our state, and I here am a leader at this school. So I encourage you guys to not think for 1 second, no matter what your background is, that there is nothing that you can't do. Representative Williams, on behalf of the staff and faculty here at ACE, we would like to present you with this thank you card for being such a wonderful representative for us. Okay, so we'll package it up for you to take back and possibly display in your office. And that's just a small token of our appreciation for you for helping us and our students move in an upward bound fashion. I'd also like to take a minute to thank you students. Without you, Representative Williams would not be here. So you have let your voices be heard, you have invited him, and he has come. So thank you Mamie, thank you guys. And I want to just say thank you for being attentive as your peers and representatives speaks with us.
Welcome again, Representative Williams, on behalf of teachers and students. Thank you for taking your time to meet with our students this morning, and especially thank you for the effort on our behalf and your extra service on the Higher Education Appropriations Subcommittee. We have 4 students this morning who represent adult and community education. They're representatives of our campus and an example of what a diverse population we are, but they're also representative of adult education students throughout the state. They've been kind enough to share their stories with us this morning, and they'll be introducing themselves, so if you all could give them a welcome, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Butler. I was born in Cairo, Georgia. I am married and I have 2 kids. My son worked for a heating and air conditioning company, and my daughter attended FAMU in the pharmacy program. She worked really hard at it. When all her friends are out having fun, she's home in her books. Where does she get that from? I don't know. She didn't get it from her dad. I am very proud of both of my kids for staying in school to further their education. I would like to say to all the young kids, please take school seriously, because you are going to need it. I attended school at Cairo High. I dropped out in the 9th grade. It was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. My daughter and my wife talked me into coming back to ACE. I was a little embarrassed to be coming back at the age I am, but once I saw the progress I was making, it made me feel better. It's not coming as easy as I would like it to, but I am making progress. My goal is to get my GED so I can further my education, so I can find me a good paying job. Not through yet. I know I need a good education to make it in this world today, and I would advise all young people to get their education while they're young, because if you don't, there's nothing out there for you today. I think the teachers at ACE are very helpful. They put up with a whole lot to help us learn, and I would like to thank all of them for the wonderful job they are doing. I would also like to thank Representative Williams for taking the time out of his busy schedule to visit us. Please keep fighting for us. That's it.
Hi, my name is Lavia Frumpong and I'm 20 years old. I was born in Ghana, West Africa, and I lived there for 16 years. My dad decided to bring us to the United States, so now I live with him and my sisters here. I came to ACE because I wanted to learn English well and to get my high school diploma and go to TCC. When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a celebrity, but as I've grown up, my thoughts have changed and now I want to be a nurse. The reason I want to be, The reason I want to be a nurse is that in my country we have many disabled and homeless people. And this is not only in my country but everywhere. So I think helping them is a good thing to do. It is a better career. It is a better career to set my mind on. I have been at ACE for about a year. It is a very good experience for me. When I first came here, the way I talked, you wouldn't understand me. I study hard and go over and over my lessons at home. At first, I was afraid to answer the phone because I didn't know English well. Now, I don't mind answering the phone. I work at Chevron from 6 p.m. to midnight, 5 days a week. I get up at 5 a.m. to get to morning classes from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. to work on my English. I have classes from 1:45 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. to prepare for my GED. I am most thankful for my dad for bringing me and my sisters to the U.S. and for my teachers who helped me learn so much. I'm saving money from what I'm earning to go back to Ghana to visit next year. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It is an extreme pleasure to speak with you this morning, Representative Williams. My name is Kenneth Bill. I attend classes here in Adult and Community Education in Ms. Gray Cochran and Mr. Whalen's classes. I originally moved here 10 years ago. I was born in Missouri, and I was homeschooled, and I was searching for an alternative outlet to earn a high school diploma. I had found out about ACE through my previous doctor, Ian McMillan, and I started here at ACE in 2009. The experience is going wonderful so far. At this point, I will be taking the reading, science, social studies, and writing parts of my GED at the end of May, and hopefully math in June. In the meantime, I volunteer at Teen Court, a teen diversion program, and at the Alpha Epic tutorial program, assisting kids there, as it's always great to give back to your community and contribute something. My goals include graduating from here at ACE and earning my high school diploma, going to college, probably TCC to start off with, and finding work. I am hoping to intern at the Challenger Learning Center over the summer. ACE is extremely important to all of us. It's a wonderful program. All of the teachers and staff and everybody here have all been very pleasant to work with. They've all been very knowledgeable and helpful, and we all owe a debt of gratitude to them. It would be wonderful if you could assist with our program, Representative Williams. ACE is a excellent school, and we would appreciate anything that you could do to help us keep running strong. Not only that, but if ACE were to suddenly close, many people would not have the opportunity to earn their high school diplomas. This would not only cut them off from further education, but also their future careers. Thank you, Representative Williams, for coming out today, and thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, well, off the projects. All right. My name is Alfred Ronnie. I'm 23 years old and the oldest of 9 adopted children. I'm from West Palm Beach, Florida, where I attended Carl Newman, a private high school. The 11th grade was my last completed year of school before a series of events caused my relationship with my mother to falter. As a result, I was told to leave my home and make my own life and happiness. When I was 17, I came to Tallahassee and had every intention of going back to school, but fell into the working class and would put off school for the next 6 years. After being fired from numerous jobs for tardiness and mistakes teenagers often make, I realized I didn't look good on any application I would fill out. On January 14th, 2012, I took my last $40 and decided to make a small investment in myself to enroll in ACE. Fortunately, I had the documents such as W-2s to prove my residency in order to qualify for the in-state tuition. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in attendance today, so for that I'm grateful. ACE has helped me in more than one aspect of my life, and in 4 months, I've gained the confidence and the drive to really do something to make a difference in the lives of others. Thanks to Mrs. Cochran, Mr. Whalen, and Mrs. Osborne, I realized I wasn't as behind as I thought, and now I have a career in mind to pursue. Next week, I'll be taking the full GED test, and dependent upon my scores, will be attending TCC in the fall to acquire an associate's degree. After that, I'll take up biology for my bachelor's degree, then obtain a master's in occupational therapy to become a physical therapist. I'm tired of... Hold on. I'm tired of being helpless, and I'm tired of wasting my talents, and I'm thankful for a program such as ACE for giving me a second chance to become a contributing member of society and one day a loving provider for my family.
Right. Well, good morning. Is that on? Y'all can do better than that. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Well, first of all, before I get started, all the gentlemen, if you got your hats on, take them off for me. All right. And I want to just say thank you for the opportunity to be here. I had an opportunity to learn a little bit more about what ACE is doing, although I thought I knew it. You always go into something trying to learn something new and learn more each and every day. And so I want to thank the folks who briefed me before. I appreciate it, and it gave me a laundry list of things to go back and work on, and that's why I'm here. But I'm also here to say, thank you, and really just share with you some, hopefully some thoughts and some ideas that will inspire you to continue to do what you're doing. When I first got the request to attend ACE, I didn't hesitate to clear my schedule. It was indeed a pleasure and honor to get that request and to be here today. I've always respected the work that ACE has done as a primary provider of adult education classes in Leon County. And to the folks who introduced me before, to Katrina, who I'm glad didn't tell any stories from 20 years ago, just said she knew me when. That's always good. Thank you. To Robert, thank you for that introduction in your story. Thank you for being a great dad. Thank you for raising up a rattler. That's a good thing. To Lavia, did I get it right? Thank you, and thank you for working so hard. I mean, getting up 5 a.m. in the morning to go to work and then come back and go to school and learn a second language so that you can be more productive. Thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for sharing your story and hopefully inspiring others who may come to America, or just folks who need to, want to do better in their life. You have a great story. To Kenneth, your volunteer work with the teen court is to be commended. We need more folks like you to talk to those young men and young women when they have gone astray. And a lot of times when they see me coming, or adults, they're like, I don't want to talk to you, But somebody they can relate to, hopefully you've been able to touch at least one life, if not several. So thank you for your work. Alfred, wow, great story. And your $40 investment in your future, I hope pays off one day. And when you get your own physical therapy practice, maybe one day you just frame up, two $20 bills and hang them over your hang them over your door or what have you, and to remind you of what that $40 investment did for you and is doing for you. And to Mamie, thank you so much. You know, I don't know you got some of those pictures, but I'm glad you got all the good ones. You know, I try and go out I try and Google myself every now and again because you never know what pictures may show up from college or, you know, even high school. So I try and get out there and, you know, look and see what's out there. And I go out on Facebook, make sure my name's not tagged to any pictures that I don't want, you know, out there. But thank you so much. And thank you for continuing your path to success. I know it's been one that has had some challenges, but thank you for that. Thank you for being a great mother, and thank you for just making sure that you are improving yourself each and every day. And thank you to all of you. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I'd like to begin also by you know, thanking our principal, Barbara Van Camp, Martha Clark, and everyone else in their respective places for having me here today. You know, a wise man once said that everything rises and falls on leadership, that there are no bad students, but a bad teacher is detrimental to not only to themselves, but also to those with the task with leading. And so it's good to know here at ACE we have nothing but great teachers. The presence of each and every student in this room is a living testament to your undying commitment to becoming better leaders and to becoming better teachers to those who look up to you. You, my friends, are not detrimental to yourselves. You are beneficial to the society. You are beneficial to Leon County. You are beneficial to your family. You know, I'd like to start by saying that, you know, I think we all admire, you know, folks like, you know, Barack Obama and Martin Luther King. But, you know, there are two people that I admire the most, like Harriet Tubman and John F. Kennedy. You know, these were people who paved the way for generations of Americans to live freely and prosperously today. When we're thinking about these individuals, we often ask ourselves, what is it that makes them leaders? What are the fundamental components of leadership? While there are many components of leadership, some of the most valuable are that leaders recognize the value of community. They understand the importance of the individual. So like what our young man Alfred was telling us about his investment in himself, they challenge the accepted order of things, actively work to create change, and always work towards educating and bettering themselves, just like you're doing each and every day here at ACE. John Donne once said, "No man is an island. Every man is a piece of the continent." And what I think he meant by that is that we're all a community. We're all a group of individuals subsisting together. And that no matter how we may try to isolate ourselves, we cannot separate ourselves from nor break the bonds we share with our fellow man. And so when you think about, you know, what got you here and what brought you to ACE, you're part of a much larger fabric in this community. Whether that fabric is just your community and your neighborhood, whether that fabric is a group of people, or that fabric is the entire city of Tallahassee, Leon County, you're all part of that fabric. The strength of community is necessary for us to survive. It's an evolution of the natural state of man. Many, like Thomas Hobbes and John Locke, have written on the necessity of community for the progress of mankind. They knew that we are only as strong as the bonds we share with each other. I think you understand that. I mean, I think probably when you got here, you probably didn't know any of the students here that you were in class with. All of you guys probably coming from different parts of the community. But I can tell you now that you are now together. I'm sure when you see each other out and about, you say, wow, there's one of my classmates. And that's what it's about. That's what, you know, coming here, trying to, you know, better yourselves, but at the same time, making new friendships, building on relationships that you've had in the past. So I want all of you to know that as an ACE student, you are that community. And the strength of your success as individuals can and will be stronger depending upon the strength of your bonds as classmates and as friends. The value of the individual cannot be overlooked in this equation, nor can the power we possess when united. Former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor captures the idea by stating that we do not accomplish anything in the world alone, and whatever happens is a result of the whole tapestry of one's life and all the weavings of individual threads from one to another that create something. So each and every one of you, whether it's Lovia, whether it's Mamie, whether it's Quandarius, Dugan's back there, all of you are part of that quilt. I'm a part of it. Your teachers are a part of it. And when put together, we make a very beautiful tapestry. You know, one person has the power to make a difference. One person is like a ripple in the water. As a ripple creates many waves, so also can that one person affect change. In order to do so, one must constantly and vigilantly look for the ways to improve upon man's situation. We must constantly question ourselves, our situation, and our ability for progress. You know, I learned that when I was at Rickards High School. I had a professor, a teacher there, Eddie Kilpatrick, who was my math teacher. And he told me every day, or as much as he could, set goals for yourself. Set realistic goals for yourself, short term, mid-term, and long term. And don't just get them and put them in a drawer, but put them up on a wall so you can see those goals and you can achieve those goals. And sometimes we may fall short a little bit, but the good part about it is you know where you need to go to get there. You know what goals you've stated. And make them realistic, you know, but make some of them audacious. Make some of them, you know, that you know you can attain, you know you can achieve, but you got to work hard at it. You know, for me, you know, I may want to lose 15 more pounds, right? But I got to work hard at it. You know, I can't, you know, get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and say, okay, turn back over. I probably need to get out, put my tennis shoes on, and go running. I may want to, you know, be a better father, be a better husband. Well, I can't do that by staying, you know, at work late. I need to get home and get in the backyard and play soccer with my daughter, or take my son to the baseball park, or wash the dishes and take out the trash. But so you have to set goals for yourself. Ones that are realistic, but sometimes ones that, you know what, that will challenge you. Ones that will say, you know what, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do this. And when I do it, if nobody else celebrates that, the fact that you achieved that goal, but you, that's okay too, right? That's okay too. So know that the work you're doing here sometimes may go unnoticed. Sometimes may have a stigma to go along with it because you're not in the mainstream high school, or you're not, you know, where you want to be, or you didn't graduate with your friends or what have you. Know that it's okay. Know that you're doing something about your situation, whether you're forced to be here or whether you're here on your own. Embrace it and take the challenge and set your goals. Too seldom we stop and think, what is our preferred future? And this is a question we must ask ourselves. This question requires that we challenge the process to create a visionary picture of the future. That we work to generate a common goal that offers a possibility for fundamental change. All of you are leaders, and leadership involves several fundamental concepts: critical thinking, social change, decision making, and so many others. We must first have an idea of the shape and the direction that we want the future to take. Often we let others direct our lives, our thoughts, and our opinions, without truly reflecting on where this kind of behavior will lead or what will come of it. When in a position of leadership, this kind of idle complacency is not a luxury that we can afford. So when you look into the future, one must have a degree of creativity. You know, you got to have a certain swagger about yourself when looking at the challenges in front of you. You can say, you know what, I can't do it, or I'm just going to do it, you know, halfway. Well, if you do it halfway, it's only going to get you halfway. But if you go hard and you do it all the way, the path and the future that you have is so much brighter. You know, it's sort of like what I tell folks every day, that, my job is to hopefully help change the trajectory of one's life, whether it's by passing laws, whether it's by helping someone with a constituent issue, or just being there and being a supportive person for them. And your teachers are doing the same thing. They're trying to change your trajectory. When you think about, the guy getting shot out of a rocket, if the angle is right here, right, and it's to the ground, and they say shoot out, he probably only go about 25 feet. But if you change that angle and change that trajectory, and that's what the work you're doing, when you don't come to ACE, or when you don't try and apply yourself, this is your trajectory. When you come to ACE, or when you do all the things you're trying to do to improve yourself, that angle changes. So what's beneficial about that is when you come out of that cannon of life, you land further ahead. And when you land further ahead, the people that come along with you, or your family or friends, they're also landing further ahead. Or at least now you have leaped over all of those things that hopefully folks behind you won't have to worry about. You've flown over all of the traps and the pitfalls that may have been in front of you. And so that's what your teachers are trying to do. They're trying to change that trajectory, change that angle at which you come out of here. And for that, we commend them. Leaders must envision a future. They must envision a world that may be 20, 50, 100 years from now, and anticipate the problems that we will face. Again, they must find creative ways to avoid these issues. And leaders must also be innovative in their solutions. So to each one of you, you got to be creative. You got to be innovative. You got to say, you know what? Okay, I'm having problems getting here. You got to find a way. You got to be creative. Or you may be having a problem on an assignment. You got to get creative. You got to say, look, let's work together as a study group. Or you may be having problems in life at work. You got to figure out how can you change that. But you got to be innovative and you got to be creative. Leaders know what others do not. A refusal to try new things can result only failure and in stagnation. Progress cannot come from old ideas, only new ones. Walt Whitman, a proclaimed poet, once wrote, "Obey little and resist much." So to the students here at ACE, you got to be visionaries. You got to be revolutionary. And so I will tell you that the visionaries that we have come to admire and respect are those who often walked alone against the crowd, but it's a path well worth walking. Martin Luther King was a visionary. Harry S. Truman was a visionary when he created the League of Nations. So many of our leaders were visionaries. Each one of you are leaders in your own right. And so I encourage you to be visionaries. I encourage you to walk the path somewhat less traveled. And when you do that, at the end of that path, at the end of that road will be something much better than what was at the beginning. And when you get to the end of that road, you can also take with you your friends and your family and your community. So remember to stay dedicated to your vision and never fear asking for help. In creating a new future, your sailing forward into uncharted territory is important. Naturally, you will be met with failure. We all know that. We all know that we're going to have some hiccups along the way. But don't let temporary feats stop you. Achievement lies in overcoming obstacles and in doing so, coming one step closer to your dream. So all of you, for a moment, I want you to close your eyes. Just close your eyes for a second. Everybody, close your eyes. Don't worry, nobody's going to take your wallet. But think about that. Just close your eyes for a minute and think about that vision of what your goals are. What you see yourself becoming. And then ask yourself, am I doing everything I need to do to get there? If the question is yes, continue doing what you're doing. If the question is no, change what you're doing to get to that path. You're going to be honest now. I don't want y'all going and giving y'all a reason to go to sleep. So finally, in creating the future that you have envisioned for ourselves and yourself, we must not become complacent. We must set daily goals for ourselves and constantly ask ourselves if doing something will bring us closer to or take us further away from our goal. Finding excuses not to come here, not to be in class. Finding excuses why this won't work. You know, it's easy to find the reason why things won't work. It's harder to find the answer why things will work or can work. So sometimes it's going to be hard. Sometimes it's going to be tough, but you can do it. You know, I want to close with this. And it's something that Gandhi once said. He said, watch your thoughts, for they become words. Watch your words, for they become actions. Watch your actions, for they become your habits. Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. So whether words are powerful. Words are powerful. So understand that you are in charge of your destiny. But it starts with one simple word. I can. I can do whatever. And that will change your destiny. That will change your trajectory on where you land. So again, integrate your vision into your life and take action now. And again, thank you for inviting me today, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of your learning experience. God bless you.